Um, I use 550 for my slip for all clay bodies, and the 550 is a Cone 10 porcelain, and so I'm going to make it today directly from a 25-pound hug of clay, and you can also get it dry. I use really warm water. It's not particularly hot. It's just you saw how long I put it in there, and then I just get little pieces of clay, about a ½ inch, and put it in here. And slip is so easy to make. I mean, it really is. As soon as you make it and sieve it, it can be used. When I get about a ½ cup in there, I just turn it on and just blend it. Keep adding it. A lot of things I do are Teresa, by that's a little too big. So you can see just about the size of the tip of your thumb. But the dry is easier. I just scoop it in here. Huh? No dust. That's the plus with doing it with wet clay. You have no dust. Good point. Sieve. I use a number 80 for the slip, sometimes 100 if I really want to. This is the air pen, which we're going to use later. So here's the slip, and all I've done, hi Kathy, all I've done is put the slip in hot water. Then I want to pull this out gently, pour it through the sieve. Probably the most important thing I have up here is the marker, because it's really important. If you're going to use lots and lots of slips, you want to just mark what slip you've got where. So if I put my thumb in it, I can see the outline of my thumbnail. So you can see the outline of the thumbnail, and that's nice. It isn't too thick so that I can't see the outline. There's copper carbonate and there's copper oxide. So I just take my white slip and then I'm going to mix in a little bit. So I'm going to put a heaping. I am a cooker. A little bit more. And then I just eyeball it and look at it.
How much was that?
2 teaspoons. 2 level teaspoons.
So you have your greenware, you can use slip on it in a variety of different ways. And then you bisque, and you still need to do a glaze.
A clear glaze.
A clear glaze.
This is, basically, this slip is just clay.
Right.
If you were to use the white slip, not the colored slip, the white slip, you could slip the bottom of your piece, you could slip the top of your piece.
Any of it.
And it would not adhere because it's just clay and water.
Right.
But once you start putting any kind of mineral in, especially with like the concepts, they have some fluxing material in. So I would not put a colored slip on the bottom unless you test it extensively.
Are there any sort of benefits or disadvantages to using one form of coloring over another? So like I have a lot of concepts, well not a lot of concepts, but I have a bunch of bottles of those, and that's probably where I'd go first. Is it just cost?
No, the oxides will speckle. They'll speckle more than any of the others. In other words, you won't get a consistent flow of the, say, green. There might very well be small specks. One way to get away from that is to make your slip, make your colored slip and let it sit. Let it sit for a month. And then it will start to dissolve, and then re-sieve it, and you'll get rid of the oxide. Well, you're still going to have a few. Oxides just do that. They're pure minerals from the earth. The stains, I mean, it looks like this is $4.68. I mean, you saw how much I used. You could use this and make a 5-gallon bucket. of just this green Victoria slip. It's warm water. But you see with this, I can see dust. And so wear a mask. Wear a mask.
Do you feel it has to be porcelain?
This is the one that I found works on any clay body that Dennis carries. I've tried, I can't say any, almost all, but I haven't tried any other. You can make a slip with any clay body. It's just that this is a Cone 10 English porcelain that is very, very fine. And it's kind of like, it will work on anything, so why not use it rather than, I mean, I could test a lot of others, but a lot of other clays have grog, a lot of other color glazed clays, like I could use Schatz or 65, number 15, which is a Cone 6 porcelain. But before you got here, I explained that if, I had read that if you do a Cone 10, which a higher firing clay body, as a slip and put it on lower firing clays, they will adhere without cracking, crazing, or shivering off. If you use number 15, which is a Cone 5 porcelain, you could use it on earthenware, and you probably could use it on Cone 5/6, but you couldn't use it on Cone 10, because it's going to shrink more, and therefore it's going to shiver. This is a pot that I made last January. This is the clay body. It's the same as this vase I made. And this is Schottenen clay, K6, has 30% grog. And it's wonderful for making really, really big pots. But it's really tough when you go to glaze it. It's I haven't found but one glaze that really does really well on it. So down here, I put 550 slip. And then I dipped, this is not glazed on the inside or here, but here, and because I know the 550, I've got probably a dozen glazes that go well on 550. And it's not really, I don't really push 550. It's just, it's like your best friend. It works really well. But I wouldn't discourage you from trying Cone 5/6, you know. So, I mean, see how easy it is? It's about the same amount of time with dry clay. It's just here, this already has water in it, so you have to think, this already has water. I put a little, if you notice, I put it about 2/3 of the way full of water when I did the dry, because it's going to absorb more water. What color, Tammy?
The dark purple concept.
Sure. This is, I have to use my glasses. This is dark grape. I mean, and I use an 80 mesh sieve. I pulled it out rather than my 100 mesh because I don't think you should have to buy a 100 mesh sieve just to do slip. You can do it with an 80. If you're going to do really, really refined work with the slip and you want it to be flawless and you want the it to be as fine as possible, get 100. There's even 200 mesh sieves, but you have to specialize those. But 100 mesh sieve will get a little bit, it will get it a little finer. But an 80 mesh sieve is what I use for my glazes stuff. And this also is an 80 mesh. And when I make small amounts, you know, I brought this out just simply because this is so handy at times to use. So I'm going to pour in a cup and a half. And because this is liquid, now this cost $3.65. Say this is $5.36. You can do a lot more. These are much more expensive. They're already, you're not going to probably get any little spits of water in this.
Okay, that's more than I
half of it.
expected her to put in.
So you're using
Okay.
about like $3 worth.
can always add more color or more slip.
The only issue is you want to test a small piece, always test your pieces. Because if you make a whole bunch of pieces and you put this, say this slip on, and it blisters and it peels, it's heartbreaking.
Right.
So this is C, and somebody asked about what kind of stains. These are mason stains that I'm using, but there's also something called Degussa stains. And Degussa is, I believe, a German company, and what they did encapsulated stains. So Degussa stains, they do a lot of orange, reds, and there's one more color, and those will stay till cone 10, the color that they do low fire or mid fire.
As will the Mason stains. Do well.
They,
I don't
you
know.
have to test, but almost all of them. I mean, it's what I would do is pick your palette. You know, if you want to do stains, pick your palette of what colors you want, and then always do stains. Always do some small pieces and test them. Susan Nofrosky, she does a lot of decoration on her pieces. A lot of them, well, she fires them to different cones, and she's been a great resource for me, which colors, which pinks and purples and lavenders and reds just won't go to cone 10. I mean, Matt, I'll pass it around. This is such a smart piece because it's a dark clay body. They simply used a clear glaze over everything. But what it looks like they did was they dipped it in a white slip, let it dry for a few minutes, and then they did sgraffito, scratching through here. But what's smart about it for me is if I were drinking tea in this or something cold, the sgraffito means that I can hold on to it. It's not slick. So it's a very friendly piece to use. So if you want to dip it in, you can dip it in and just do the rim. And this is leather hard. I trimmed them last night. If I turn it over too fast, it will drip. I mean, how easy is that? You know, it's so easy. You could dip the whole thing in. If you're going to get just one brush, and these are very inexpensive, I think they're like $4.50 each, get these. This is only part of one. They come in different widths, but you can take them apart one by one. This is a oneer. And then I've just taken and cut this very roughly into a point so I can use it. This is a dagger. I've had this for years. This I got at an auto detailing place, and so it's got a nice little point on it. These brushes are lovely also, just for medium use. This is a handmade brush I have, and it's just lovely to have these three little points. It's just decoration. And this is good for doing all over, like if I were going to do all the inside of a bowl, like here, like on this one. Are we missing somebody? So this is the 550, and I'm just going to do the inside of this bowl. And I mean, you guys see my work. It's not real detail oriented, but
When Susan does her bowls, she uses 60 clay because they start, you know?
Susan Nofrosky.
Yes.
She uses, I think, 75, the real dark red.
Well, and then
Well, it
she does
depends.
all the
She's-
insides of her bowls are done with slip, like this. You know, she does all
Yeah, she does.
And then she
Incredible
goes along.
decoration. So you see how thin this is. And you can leave it thin, or you can wait for it to dry, and it's up to you. But yeah, I can put several coats. Because this is leather hard, it will dry a little slower. So I'll just set the slip. And this is a bit thicker. And you can just take it and put it here. And I just wipe it away afterwards, wipe away the edges. And it just takes minutes to just put a little bit of extra. And you could just, with a white inside, you could decorate the inside, say put some leaves on the inside, and just use a clear glaze if you wanted. But I'm going to put this back down now. You can see how it's getting kind of a little dry. And with this slip, I can't say enough good things about it. I can't think of anything bad about it. You can, the Japanese culture, I believe, do hakan, which would be the real, doesn't look real smooth. You can look it up, H-A-K-E, and it is just a real rough. Banding wheel, Lazy Susan, whatever you have, your wheel, you could just use your wheel. I pretty much throw everything. I just can't get off the wheel. I wish I could. Then I could do some nice hand building, but I haven't been able to get off the wheel in 38 years. I don't think I'm going to. There's no hope. There's no hope. So this brush is kind of nice, not for banding really, but for more strokes on the inside of a piece or on the outside.
What are those brushes made out of?
This one I believe is deer tail. Got them from all different types of little things. And put like, yeah, once you put like the blue on, then you can go back and maybe use something like the dark grape. I'm going to set you guys free in a few minutes and let you do your thing. And you can decorate around. I do want to show you the air pen. I got to make thicker. I got to make thicker slip for that. I found out the hard way it needs thicker slip as my slip went flying across the room, which wasn't much fun. So, and then you can also, like this slip, the green slip is nice and thick. You can do just little dots. Make your slip to the thickness you want. I made, for my class, I made one container of really, really thick slip that is like Cool Whip, and it is so much fun to play with. Holly, have you used that?
Which?
The real thick slip to
Yes.
play with?
Yes.
You can take and you put that slip on a plate, and you can take your hands and just wipe through it and finger paint. It's so much fun to use. And you can make a colored slip. I just try to keep it simple for the classes. I'm going to real quick make the thick slip, show you the air pen, and then you guys are welcome to decorate these bowls any way you see fit. If you don't like it, we will not recycle them because I don't recycle the ones with colored slip into our white. They could be recycled separately. This is a little, I don't know, cosmetic type brush, and you can take that. I tore it so that it's rough, and then you can take it and put it around the outside. First one dripped. And you just play with it. And then this is a natural sponge. I really like the natural sponges, and so does my dog. Yeah. So does my dog. Yeah, so, and this with copper or cobalt carb and water as a stain on, after you've bisque fired a piece and you've put a white glaze on it or a clear glaze, either one, you can do that. So let me see if I can show you the difference between the two types of, you can cut them into any shape. I should have used black on this and you can see it, but just play with them. Colette, you make some thick slip.